Heterostele is a complex floral phenomenon that has attracted the attention of many scientists since Darwin's book, The Different Forms of Flowers on Plants of the Same Species, which was published in 1877. Heterostele is a genetic polymorphism in which a plant species presents flowers with different morphological types. Flowers with long styles have stamens underneath, whereas in opposing morphs, the styles are arranged below the anthers. Heterostele species generally have a genetic incompatibility system that promotes crosses between different individuals of the same population. Also associated with these species are ancillary characters specific to each floral morph, like the dimorphism in the size of pollen grains. In a system of ercogamous flowers, many pollen grains do not reach a receptive stigma, and they end up being lost without fulfilling their mission. Heterostele is a reproductive mechanism that promotes cross-sexual reproduction in plants, and due to the reciprocity between morphs, it also reduces the loss of gametes. There are several models that attempt to explain the evolution of heterostele, but so far no consensus has been reached as to which one best fits the real situation. The model of Charlesworth and Charlesworth, 1979. This model is based on a homostelous flower where the anthers and stigma are the same height, promoting self-pollination. But inbreeding depression favours the appearance of a diallelic incompatibility system that prevents pollen germination on stigmas of the same floral morph. The pollen from a floral morph can only grow on the stigmas of the opposite morph. However, since the stamens and stigmas are at the same height, a problem of self-interference arises. This favours the appearance of floral morphs with anthers and stigmas located at reciprocal heights, so a genuinely distylous species is created. The model proposed by Lloyd and Webb suggests that the ancestor that gives rise to a heterostele species has a flower with approach ercogamy. A single mutation would produce another floral morph with the anthers at the same height but short-styled. This state is known as stellar dimorphism, and although there are two floral morphs with long and short styles, initially the anthers would be found at the same height. The problem is that due to a lack of reciprocity between the heights of the anthers and the stigmas in this system, a large quantity of pollen is lost. But pollinators are responsible for selecting the flowers that begin to appear with anthers at lower and higher levels. In this way, a transition occurs in anther heights until reciprocal heights are obtained between the sexual walls of both floral morphotypes. We have now reached the stage of reciprocal ercogamy. The system of diallelic incompatibility and ancillary characters may appear later, but they are not required for a species to be considered distylous. At the Ecology and Evolution Lab of the University of Vigo, we look for groups of plants showing different degrees of polymorphism in the evolutionary pathway towards heterostele. A morphometric study is done on each of these groups of plants. We study their pollinators and efficiency of each one of every taxon. We analyse the ancillary characters associated with the polymorphism, their breeding systems, and eventually we are able to reconstruct the evolutionary history of the group. This way we can map out the course of the evolutionary process in this phylogeny up to the acquisition of heterostele. So far, the winner is the model proposed by Lloyd and Webb, based on the initial proposal of Charles Darwin.